Good morning, everyone. My name is Samantha Jones, and welcome to the Early Show. Today we are joined with Rupert B. Dawson and Callum Harvey, and I've invited them here today to learn a bit about their country and culture. So, Rupert, can you describe a regular day in your life in England?
I wake up, I have a cup of tea. Then I eat a classical British breakfast, which consists of beans, sausages, fried eggs, and so on. Very tasty, I must say. Then I go off to my job as a teacher at a secondary school.
What about you, Callum?
I do exactly the same as Rupert, but instead of going to work at the school, I go to work at the British Museum as a guide. But
Oh my god, I forgot. Do you guys want some tea?
of course, is that even a question?
Okay, so Rupert, you work as a teacher. What's that like?
It's quite fun being a teacher. I started out in primary school and then switched over to secondary school because I wanted a bigger challenge.
Interesting. So, since you work at a museum, you probably know quite a lot about the history of England. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. One of the most important events in England's history is the Industrial Revolution. It started in the early 1800s when craftsmen were replaced by more efficient machines.
Can you say a little bit about the clothing in the schools in UK?
School uniforms are quite common in England and has been a thing since the year.
I know that England is the most populous country in the UK, but how many people are there actually?
There are over 51 million people living in England.
Wow, that's a lot. But are there any other languages being spoken in England besides English?
Some of the languages with the most native speakers are Polish, Punjabi and Urdu.
So how about religion in England?
According to the 2011 census, 59.4% are Christians. So Christianity is the main religion.
Interesting. So let's talk a bit about geography. Can you tell me what the big island of Great Britain consists of?
England consists of 2/3 of the island of Great Britain. It borders Scotland in the north and Wales in the west. Since Britain is an island, the surrounding sea gives England a varied climate. Contrary to what many believe, it does not rain every day in England, but there is often rainy days there.
Really? Well, do you have anything else to add, Callum?
Well, the overall climate in England is called temperate maritime. That means that the temperatures are mild.
Okay, now let me know a bit about the British culture. I know that music is a very big part of the culture in England, but what artist or who comes to mind when I say this?
Beatles, of course, they're legendary, but also new artists such as Adele, who won 5 Grammys last week.
I've watched some English soccer games lately, and I've understood that soccer is pretty huge in England. So, what team do you support?
I have lived for many decades and I have always supported Manchester United, and I always will.
How about you?
I'm not that into football, but I've heard that Liverpool is pretty good at losing.
Okay, on to the next subject. Now let's talk about the main industries in England. For example, how are the land areas used?
Approximately 70% of the land area is agricultural and grazing land. The most important agricultural products are meat, wheat, eggs and milk. Today.
What about tourism? Isn't that quite a big industry in England?
Yes, tourists are especially drawn to London because it's a city with a variety of cultural and entertaining possibilities.
Interesting. I also know that England is quite big in foreign trading. You guys trade a lot with USA, don't don't you?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now let's move on to something very exciting, tourist attractions. I read that the Stonehenge is the most popular attraction in England, but I've never been there. Can you tell me what it is?
The Stonehenge is a collection of 5 meters high rocks. The rocks are placed in 2 large circles, and archaeologists believe it was constructed between 3000 and 2000 before Christ.
Very interesting. And are there any other attractions you would like to talk about?
Yes, of course. We have the British Museum. I've been there many times myself, and it's absolutely lovely. It houses one of the largest collections of historical and cultural artifacts.
Great! I must say it's been a pleasure to have you guys here. But we have one more guest for the day. He was one of the artists in the very famous rock band, the Beatles. He was composer, the vocal of the band, and he was also an author. Please welcome John Lennon.
Hey guys.
That's unfortunately all we had for today, but thank you for watching the early show, and we'll see you all next week. Bye!